Hello, welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Fidelia Aguncha. The death toll in the cholera outbreak in Borno State has now risen to 44. This is according to the State Commissioner for Health, Haruna Michela, who says the government will begin vaccination on Monday to curtail further spread of the disease. The first case of cholera in Borno was recorded on August 16, 2017, and there are now over 1,900 suspected cases. The disease, which spread through contaminated food and drinking water, causes diarrhea, nausea, and vomiting. At least 30 people have been killed in an accident involving two commercial buses at the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. According to the spokesperson of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Kazim Bisi, 10 others have also been hospitalized after sustaining injuries from the incident. He attributed the cause of the accident to overspeeding and route violations. The injured have been taken to the University College Hospital, Ibadan, for treatment, and the road safety is investigating further the cause of the incident. Meanwhile, Plateau State Governor Simon Lalong has confirmed 2 persons were killed in an ethnic clash in the state. The clash, which is between the Igbos and Yorubas in the state, has already forced the governor to declare an indefinite curfew in the state capital city of Jos. The governor has also ordered a deployment of security personnel to all flashpoints within the metropolis to ensure compliance with the curfew and avert further breach of law and order. On Friday, the governor met with all religious and community leaders and neighborhood vigilantes to ensure peace is maintained in the state. The Nigerian military has described the indigenous people of Biafra as a militant terrorist organization. The military says its declaration of the group as a terrorist organization comes after due professional analysis and recent development. It listed some of the reasons to include the formation of a Biafra Secret Service, claimed formation of Biafra National Guard, unauthorized blocking of public access roads, and militant possession and use of weapons on a military patrol. Others are extortion of money from innocent civilians at illegal roadblocks, physical confrontation of troops by Nnamdi Kanu and other IPOB actors at a checkpoint, and attack by IPOB members on a military checkpoint. The military is therefore advising Nigerians to disassociate themselves from the group. It also assures Nigerians of their safety, adding it remains committed to the handling of all security challenges in the country. The Nigerian Army says it has now commenced its military operation in the country's southeast region. The operation, tagged Python Dance 2, is meant to maintain peace and security in the region. A statement from the Army said it had already instructed the operation commander to ensure all hands are on deck to commence the exercise to its logical completion. The Army also warned its troops to conduct themselves in the best professional manner, abide by the rules of engagement and code of conduct in line with the requirements of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It added that any act of indiscipline by its personnel will be decisively dealt with. Meanwhile, the curfew imposed in Abia State following a clash between the Army officials and members of Biafra agitation group IPOB has been extended to Sunday, September 17th. Advocacy group Bring Back Our Girls is again seeking the immediate rescue of the 113 Chibok schoolgirls still in the captives of Boko Haram militants. The girls are part of the over 270 schoolgirls kidnapped by the terrorists in 2014. So far, the current administration has been able to secure the release of 103 of them, while a few others managed to escape. In its monthly press release, the BBOG wants the government to spare no effort in achieving immediate rescue of the remaining girls. The group also wants the government to ensure the rescue of the police women kidnapped by the terrorists earlier this year. President Muhammadu Buhari will depart Nigeria on Sunday for the 72nd session of the United Nations General Assembly. The president will lead the Nigerian delegation to the event, which will hold in New York. Special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, announced this in a statement released on Friday. Adesina said Buhari will address the UN General Assembly and participate in a debate focused on peace and survival. The president is also expected to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump, along with other world leaders. Looking at more stories now, the Nigerian government has described the proposed strike action by the United Labour Congress as illegal. The ULC on September 8 issued a one-week strike notice to protest government refusal to address its demands. Reacting to the threat by the union to embark on an indefinite strike action, Minister of Labour and Employment Chris Ngige said the government will not allow the group cripple activities in the country. He also says the ministry is working to resolve the controversies that led to the separation in the Nigerian Labour Congress in 2015. As the world battles the effect of climate change, Nigerians have been urged to embrace the process of waste recycling. The country has been battling major flooding issues in 2017, and most of this could be traced back to poor waste disposal. In this next report, TV360 looks at the key issues and a solution to the problem.
Waste recycling is a process of converting used materials into new products to prevent discard of potentially useful supplies, save resources, reduce refuse in landfills, and water and air pollution. Lagos, Africa's biggest commercial city, generates over 12,000 metric tons of refuse per day, a feat the government is battling to put in check, as these used items, which are oftentimes inappropriately disposed, go on to cause harm to the environment. Countries known to effectively manage their waste all have one thing in common, which is an effective recycling process. However, most Nigerians are clueless on the need for effective waste management and recycling process.
Call it waste. I don't need to sort out anything. I just pack everything there, then it is being disposed. Don't sort it out. I have a container where everything is being packed. All my waste is being put. So when Loma comes, they pack it.
Yes, I dispose my waste by putting. We have a waste bin, and anytime it is filled up, the Malam or the Loma people will come around and then pick it, and then we pay them.
Meanwhile, experts are asking the government to formulate policies which is environment-friendly to enhance waste culture development.
Recycling, it's a business. It should be seen as a business. But because it's often practiced in the formal sector, and when you see people who recycle, they call the scavengers, who pick valuables from your waste, they are not so attractive. You don't want to see people who are educated going into it. And that is because we have made it difficult for people who are learning to associate with it until government starts investing in the machineries that's required so that we can start pelletizing those products here and turning it to into other materials that can be reused again. Then people start seeing the values in it, start seeing the benefits. More people can go into it. I think that's very important. Government puts in the necessary backup to encourage recyclers to go into the business.
Experts say recycling of used materials offer direct development opportunities for communities. When collected with skill and care, this can contribute to local revenue, job creation, business expansion, and the local economic base. Ngozi Okoye, TV360, Lagos.
The National Primary Healthcare Development Agency says no fewer than 33 million Nigerian children will be immunized in the 2017-2018 measles vaccination campaign. Executive Secretary of the agency, Faisal Shuaib, made this known during a press briefing in Abuja. He also revealed the sum of 3.5 billion naira has been released by the federal government for the campaign, which begins on October 26, 2017.
We want to have a campaign that will be outstanding. We want to have a campaign that will match the ambitions of NPACDA, that will match the ambitions of the Federal Ministry of Health, and match the ambitions of the generality of Nigerians. We do not want to have shoddy campaigns like we've had in the past. Nigeria is better than that, and that is what we're going to show during the next campaign. As it were, we plan to cover a total of 33 million eligible children with the measles campaign. As you are well aware, Mr. President showed leadership by first and foremost releasing the sum of 3.5 billion naira for the measles campaign. Those governors that have not released their counterpart funding for this campaign will follow the leadership of Mr. President and make these funds available for the campaigns.
Give him his shoe. It's somewhere here. His phone and everything.
Don't do like that today, no.
Thank you. So, bye-bye. Hey, Oga, where do you think you are going? Home.
You never shake body.
Eh?
You never shake body.
Shake body, see?
Huh? You never shake body.
Eh?
You never shake body.
I don't get combo for my body.
You go take for here. Sit down there.
What's this man still doing here?
They say I do shake body. I shake body, I shake body. They say I do this. And I say I don't get color.
You are asking for money.
Sorry, ma'am.
Asking for money to bail a suspect is an act of corruption. Both of you will be punished. Corruption is not allowed within the force. Remember,
police is your friend. Giving and taking bribe is wrong.
corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria has held its 45th annual general meeting. At the meeting, stakeholders in the real sector of the economy and macro policy makers debated on ways to revamp the country's economy. The annual event took place in Lagos and TV360 was there.
It is a gathering of captains of industries and key policy makers to review developments in the manufacturing sector in Nigeria and chart a new way forward. Among the guests here is the Controller General of Nigeria Customs Service, Colonel Hamid Ibrahim Ali. Addressing the gathering, the Customs Boss gives kudos to local manufacturers for not engaging in illegal importation and unwholesome practices at the ports, but adds that traders of finished products are not helping the Nigerian economy, urging the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria (MAN) to identify more of the consumable goods that Nigerians need and go into massive and quality production of those goods.
Why should we grow other people's economy when we have, one, the population, two, the intellect, and of course, the enabling environment to grow and industries that will survive and strive in this great nation. We are a nation of about 180 million or so. And my belief is that if we can produce and consume, our trade within this country is enough to raise the GDP of this great nation. Most of our problems is that most consignment may not necessarily be manufacturers, but most consignment brought in by traders are never exactly what is said to have been brought.
President of MAN, Frank Udimba Jacob, commends the present administration's policy directives on local manufacturing, but points out that the sector is still overburdened.
The issue of power should be given top priority. As we all know that without adequate and stable power, economic and social development will only be a mirage. Secondly, the issue of foreign exchange for the importation of essential manufacturing inputs is equally important. But if we tenaciously drive the resource-based industrialization program, this can be overcome. And thirdly, and finally, I can safely say that no nation has recorded significant economic development with unrestrained high interest rates. The case of Nigeria will not be different. With the prevailing double-digit interest rates, the Nigerian economy will continue to suffer decline. Therefore, we recommend, as the association has always done in the past and continue to do, a single-digit interest rate. In fact, we're saying 5%.
As a
Giving the annual lecture of the AGM, the former president of United Republic of Tanzania, Benjamin Mkapa, emphasizes the need for government to empathize with industrialists in the area of policy making towards the collective goal of revamping the economy.
Improving the business environment. This is one area in Africa where tremendous improvements are badly needed. And it is one area that has preoccupied me a great deal since my retirement in 2005. Reform of commercial courts must be looked at so as to enable courts to play the role effectively in adjudicating commercial disputes. Adaptation and technology. Mr. President, I will not be doing justice to my talk if I do not address the crucial role of technology in the development equation of the manufacturing industries. A seasoned economist once argued that, quote, development gap is indeed a technology gap, and I couldn't agree more. The ability to create, acquire, and adapt new technologies is a critical requirement for competing successfully in the global marketplace, and is very lacking in Africa. It is also a well-documented fact that the African continent has not kept pace with technological advancement, and Nigeria is no exception.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who was represented at the occasion by the Minister of State for Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, says some executive orders made recently by the federal government are targeted at the ease of doing business for genuine investors and industrialists in the country.
The government will continue to strive towards improving the overall business environment. This includes deepening the efforts of the Presidential Enabling Business Council, which has so far recorded a number of successes, including simplifying the process of confirmation of companies' names on the website of the Corporate Affairs Commission. Also, the issuance of visa on arrival that has commenced to facilitate entry of investors into our country. Our ports also now have resumed 24 hours operation. Government has also designed a series of capacity development and funding initiatives to support SMEs, including the establishment of the new Development Bank of Nigeria. To further support the growth of the manufacturing sector, we have issued a number of executive orders on the promotion of transparency and improvement of efficiency in the business environment, and also to ensure that there is patronage of locally made goods. In this regard, we have made it mandatory for government procurement to prioritize locally produced goods.
With Nigeria finally out of recession, government and stakeholders are now focusing more on finding ways to sustain and grow the economy. Ngozi Okoye, TV360, Lagos.
The Nigerian currency is seen depreciating against the dollar at the parallel market. The Naira is currently trading at 369 against the greenback. Traders say demand for dollar far outstrips supply as usual. The Naira had been battling to remain stable at 365 in the past week despite continued intervention by the CBN. Oil prices fell on Friday as global market weakened following North Korea's latest missile launch. Brent crude was down 18 cents at $55.29 a barrel, while US crude was down 16 cents at $49.73 a barrel. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, this week forecast higher demand for its oil in 2018 and pointed to signs of a tighter global market, indicating its deal with non-OPEC states to cut output is helping tackle a glut. An improvised explosive device was detonated on a tube train in southwest London during Friday's rush hour. The blast at Parson Green Station on an eastbound District Line train from Wimbledon is being treated as a terror attack. The 22 people have been admitted in hospital, mostly for burn injuries. Police have evacuated the area around the station as it begins a manhunt for the culprit. Prime Minister Theresa May condemned the cowardly attack, which they said had intended to cause more significant harm. The UN says global hunger level has risen for the first time in more than a decade, now affecting 11% of the world's population. The number of hungry began to rise in 2014, but this is the first time in more than a decade that the proportion of the global population going hungry has risen. According to the UN, about 489 million of the hungry are living in countries affected by conflict. The report was produced by the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, International Fund for Agricultural Development, UN Children's Fund UNICEF, World Food Programme, and World Health Organization. Moving on to sports stories now, The Tigers has advanced to the semi-final of the 2017 FIBA Africa Championship. The national basketball team defeated Cameroon 106-91 in the quarterfinal to continue the defense of their title. They will play Senegal in the semi-final in Tunis. European football governing body UEFA has charged English club Arsenal and their German counterpart Cologne for the crowd trouble during their opening Europa League match in London. Kickoff had to be delayed for an hour after 20,000 Cologne fans invaded Arsenal's Emirates Stadium. The German only had a ticket allocation for 2,900 fans, and the huge presence caused trouble for Arsenal stewards and London police. Arsenal has been charged with blocking stairways in the away section, while Cologne has been charged with 4 counts of crowd disturbance, setting off fireworks, throwing objects, and causing damage. Barcelona president Josep Maria Bartomeu has again said Lionel Messi's father has signed a contract renewal on behalf of the Argentine forward that will keep him at the club until 2021. Barca announced in July that Messi had agreed a 4-year extension to his deal. Since then, there has been no official confirmation, and rumors had begun to circulate about the 30-year-old future at the club. Bartomeu has now spoken to Catalan television to repeat that 5-time Ballon d'Or winner Messi was committed to the cause at Camp Nou. Well, that's all on news now. Thanks for watching. I am Fidelia Aguncha.